Hello my crafty friends, it's Jelly Bean, and I'm in the process of working on the tutorial for the embellishment box. So I need flowers to go on it. So I'm making some flowers, and instead of making the embellishment box tutorial real super long, I thought maybe I would break it up into small tutorials and do the flowers separate, and then when I'm doing the tutorial on the box, I can just glue the flowers on. Y'all already know how to make them. So I've already constructed these two for the embellishment box. This is a big purple one. Now I use mulberry paper for my roses. I like using mulberry paper, and I have a nice assortment because when I was doing scrapbooking we started making tear bears, and I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with those or not, but they're little bears that you make out of mulberry paper, and then you fuzz the paper up and they look like fuzzy little bears. They're really cute. If you go to eBay and search tear bear scrapbook paper, well, just tear bear scrapbook, you'll see them, and they are adorable. But I ordered a bunch of scrap or mulberry paper when I was doing those, and then I started venturing into a few other things, and I got some really unique mulberry paper. This one I ordered from Taiwan, and a lady made this for me. I ordered it, and she put like some they're like the silver dollar leaves in there, and some other, you know, leaves and ferns and greenery and stuff. They're really pretty. But the one, this is a 6x6 paper pad that I had, and I'll show a picture of it at the end of the video because I forgot to get it and bring it over here. And then this was some that I just ordered, like that I ordered 2 packs. I ordered solid colors and I ordered this. So this was one that I ordered as well off of eBay. But this is a light purple. I don't know if you can tell. Let me put some more light on it here. This is a light purple, and this is like a dark grape purple. But anyway, I'm going to show y'all how to make these. And the one I'm going to make now is out of this white with, it's got some blue specks in it. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways to cut the flowers. Now, I have already cut the actual flower shapes out with the die. And I know everyone doesn't have a die, so I'm going to show you a different way of doing it. Now, the die that I used is this Sizzix Framelits, and I'm going to bring it real close because you can see the dies that comes with it. I think it's 11 piece. When I turn over on that. But the number, this is the number to it, 558692, and it shows the pieces again. And on the back, it shows all the pieces that come with it. Let me back up a little bit. And it tells all the sizes. Now, the one that I use for the biggest flower is a 3 3/8, and the one I use for this one, I use 2 different ones, and they're so similar it's unreal. But this is the one I actually used for the purple, and the other one is almost exactly the same, it's just a hair bigger, and it is 1 7/8. And then this one right here is the 1.5 inch. So it's 1.5 inches side to side. And again, that's the Sizzix Framelits. Okay, now I know everyone doesn't have a die, and those are quite expensive. Those are $24.95 at Michael's, and I got them on a sale with a coupon many months ago, so that price may have went up by now, or they may not even carry them. So I'm going to show you a way to cut them without the die if you want to make them. And this is a square piece of paper, and I have cut it about 3 3/4, about 3 3/4 square. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it once. And this one's going to be a little hard because it's lumpy. Now, you don't have to do this with mulberry paper. You can also do it with regular cardstock. You're going to fold it again. Now we have a little square. Now, if you want your flowers smaller, you would use smaller squares. And you would start out with probably about a 2-inch square. And then fold it again. So we got like a triangle. Now, this is the center here. So I'm going to take and I'm just going to cut like a flower petal end on here. See there? Like an ice cream cone. Now it looks like an ice cream cone. Now when I open it, this will actually have one extra petal than this one. And the way we cut them, it's not really going to matter, but because on every single one of these, we're going to cut it to the center. It doesn't have to be exact because when we're folding our petals up and everything, you're not going to be able to tell, but close to the center. And we're going to cut each one around like that. So now I'm going to actually use this one in my flowers so you can see that this is possible without a die. And I didn't want to sit here and cut all of them. I only need one flower with this print on it, so I didn't want to use all my mulberry paper up. And to make it quicker, I went ahead and dyed them, cut them out with the dyes. But I'm going to go ahead, this is going to be the very last one I use, so you can see that you can use this too. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all the way around. And like I said, it doesn't have to be precise, it doesn't have to be exact. And there for a while I was trying to stack them up and cut 2 or 3 at a time, and I found that the layers down didn't get right in the crease right here, and it would like take out a chunk of the thing. So I just cut them one at a time just to make sure. And this one, I was running out of paper, so this, you'll notice the one petal is flat, but that's okay because the first 2 layers or flowers that we add to the rose are going to get folded up and one cut out anyway. So I'm trying to stay in frame. And y'all are at my workstation again today. Welcome to my work table, my messy work table. Okay, this one is okay. All the petals are fine. These 2, I had one more that, there it is. Okay, see that? I'm gonna go ahead and cut out this one. And the other one I had one flat on. Excuse me. There it is. Y'all excuse me, my sinuses are going a little haywire today. Not running around in the humidity. And that don't have to be perfect either. Now, I've got a little basket somewhere. There it is. I have a little basket that just has a paper towel in the bottom. And I have this squirt bottle that I think I got at a dollar store somewhere, and it's just got water in it. I'm going to lay my flowers down here in the bottom of my basket. And now this is a very fine mist, and that's what you want with mulberry paper, but I'm just going to squirt them a couple times. My water's about out. And then I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to squirt them again. I said my water's about out, but you just give them a good mist. It's not a lot of water, you're not soaking them. But I'm going to take these 2 and lay them over here and let them dry just a little bit while I squirt the others. I'm kind of having to hold them up because of my water bottle's running out. I should have filled it up beforehand, but As y'all have probably already learned from watching my videos, I'm not always very well prepared. But we get it there. Come on, squirt. There we go. And I'm just squirting each side and flip, you know, I squirt one side pretty good and get a good mist on it. And then I'm going to flip it over. Okay, y'all. I'm going to pause a minute and go get some water. I'm not showing y'all very well. Okay, here we go. It's amazing what a little bit of water will do. Alright. They're so big I'm doing them twice. The smaller ones I just squirt once. Okay, now here's the one I cut out without the dye. And I'm going to do it the same way. I'm not doing it any different. Alright. And I'm going to set them. Now, usually I would let them kind of dry out for a few minutes. And, excuse me, this is a foam pad that I have that's supposed to clean your rubber stamps on. See, it's got like this coarse foam on one side and the real dense foam on the other. But this is what I'm going to use to shape my flowers. And make sure I'm going to be in frame if I stay right about here, because I'm going to sit down to do this. And I have these metal ball, they're for clay and stuff like that, but you can use a Sharpie end of like a Sharpie pen. I was looking to see if I have one. Okay, here's a good example. You can use your pokey tool right here, the round end. You can use that, or you can use like a Sharpie. I thought I had one over here, but I don't see it. So anyway, you don't have to have the metal tool. Now for the big flower, I use this big ball on the end. And for the smaller flower, I use this one. But on your first two that we cut the notch out, we're going to take and we're just going to kind of circle and pull to the center. And they're kind of frail when they're wet. I haven't let them dry out too well. But matter of fact, since they're a little bit wet, I'm going to turn it over to the dense side so I can get a good pull on them. Because when you pull them to the center, see how they kind of curl up? And they're messy, you know, they're going to go which way they want to. And then you're going to mash down. And I give it a really good mash. And set that one over to the side. And the first two, we're going to do exactly the same. The two with the notches out. You're going to circle a little bit and pull to the center. And like I told y'all before, I'm a messy crafter and not a very good person for tutorials. But y'all asked for it, so here I am. But, okay, lay it back down. I'm going to do a couple circles. And sometimes the ball doesn't want to glide smoothly. So I just kind of roll it around like this and then roll it in. And that gives it a good shape, you know. You just want to give your petals some shape to them, not be flat. It's kind of like the Heartfelt Creations things they've got out now. But anyway, we're just going to get them to kind of cup a little bit on the end, pull them in. And it don't look like much now, but when we get it together, it's going to be pretty. And see, when you do this while they're wet, when they dry, they keep their shape. Give that one a good mash, and see, that just don't look like anything right now, but it will. And alright, now we're gonna do these a little bit differently. We're gonna do the same on each petal. We're going to roll it around, or roll it and then roll to the center. And see, the reason I'm just rolling instead of pulling is because these are still wet. I'm not waiting for them to dry, which you don't have to, but it does work better if they're a little bit dry, not all the way. But see how when you just pull them in toward the center, they kind of cup up like a real flower. Okay, we're gonna cup this one and roll it in. Now, instead of mashing on the center here, we're going to flip it over, and we're just going to mash in the center on this side. So, see how it is now? I hope I'm in frame, I cannot see. But we're gonna do the next 3 like that. Just roll it in the center, bring it in like this, and get them all cupped up going all the way around. And then you're gonna flip it over and give it a good squish in the middle and make them, see how they pull up when you squish it. And then we're gonna lay it to the side, and you need 5 for each flower. Now this is the one I cut out without the die, so we're gonna do this one the same way. Pull it in, see, it works the same way, and we didn't use a die for this one. It just, we cut it out by hand. So I know everybody, I don't have very many dies. I haven't been doing this long, and I maybe have 10 dies, maybe a little bit more, because I had a friend just send me a few. So I don't have that many dies, but you know, it takes time when you first start out to start collecting stuff. I see all these neat tools and everything, and I tell you what, now I'm fortunate, very blessed. God made a way for me to get a die cut machine. Okay, we're gonna flip it over, but for those of you who do not have a die cut machine and would like to win one, there is 2 women here on YouTube that are giving away a die cutter and dies, and it is an awesome giveaway. And I will link both of their channels below. One is Wagman510 and the other one is MadeNew to Create. But I will link their channels below, and they are both awesome crafters. Now, Elisha is Wagman510, and she is in Israel. She's in the Holy Land. And her and Lisa, who is MadeNew to Create, have both teamed together to have this fabulous giveaway. And y'all will not believe how easy it is to win, to be entered. All you have to do is send anything to anyone. That's all you have to do. Send, it could be a letter, a tag, I don't know, one of the bookmarks we made the other day. It could be, you know, a poem you wrote. It doesn't have to be anything at all. The whole idea of their giveaway is to make someone's day and cheer someone up. You know, everybody likes getting Happy Mail. I know I do. So anyway, okay, now we've got our 5 flower layers. Y'all excuse me, I don't know why my throat's so dry right now. Okay, the glue that I use is this Craft Medley Premium Craft Glue, and it's a gel glue, but it dries really quick. It's kind of like hot glue without the hot. It strings like hot glue, and it dries just about as quick, I think. But that's what I use for just about everything. This even glues metal down really good. I really like this glue. And I did have some in my store for sale. I'll have to see if I have some more. But anyway, the first 2 we're going to work with are the 2 that we cut out, because those are going to be the bud in the center. And I will go ahead and warn you that while you're making this, when I first started making it, I got to the 2nd and 3rd layer and I was like, oh man, this looks awful. And I would stop. But I learned that you just keep going, you know. kind of like in Nemo, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Well, we're gonna keep going, going, going. So, y'all just bear with me here for a minute. Okay, the first thing I do is I start folding my petals up, and I do like every other one. I skip one, and I go up, and I just kind of curl them around when I do it. I hope y'all can see. I'm having a hard time seeing myself, but see how we're just layering it, and then we're going to bring this up and layer it, and these are still kind of wet. When they dry out a little bit more, they're a little bit easier to work with, but these will be, I can do this. Y'all probably will need to wait and let them dry a little bit, but I just kind of layer them on top of one another and just roll them together. And it's kind of hard with the bigger one, it's easier with the smaller one, but I'm doing the bigger one so y'all could see it better, because when we do the smaller one, I have big hands and you probably wouldn't see anything. But see, and it's gonna pop open and everything, and it's not gonna look like anything, and you're gonna sit here and go, that can't be right. But you know, just fold it up. The center one, you're not gonna see that much anyway. Okay, see there? I've made a little baby burrito flower. That's about what it is. Can y'all see what it looks like? I hope so. So, I'm just going to glue some of the edges down just so it kind of holds in place. And I'm going to smear a little bit of glue. See my strings? And I'm going to lay it down there. And then I'm going to... I hope I'm in frame, y'all. I can't see the picture on my camera. I'm using my phone, but I got it hanging on a selfie stick. Y'all wouldn't believe how I'm doing this. And my dryer's done, so... Anyway, let's try this. Now see, I just got it rolled around. Looks like a little tiny bud in the center there. I hope I've got it where you can see it. Maybe. Okay, now the next thing I do is in this layer, instead of start folding first, I'm going to put glue on it first. And I put glue in the center. And it don't have to be no specific need anything. And then I go like up the center of every petal and put glue almost a little over halfway. Not all the way to the top, but enough to stick. And then I just stick my little burrito there in the center, and every other one I'm gonna pull up and just kind of mash it toward the bottom where the top doesn't mash in, because we want to start making it look like a flower blooming. And sometimes it kind of you know, you're gonna have to play with it and get used to how you want it. But alright, see that? Can y'all see how that looks? So see, we cut one of them out, and now I'm just gonna see how this one's kind of gapping open. I'm just gonna put a dot of glue right there and fold it over. If you see where you want it, just put a dot of glue on it and fold it over there and play with it until you get it. It took me 3 or 4 flowers before it actually looked like a rose, and you just have to practice and play with it. And you know, I seen a tutorial online on how to make it on Tamika's channel. I know everybody knows Tamika, and that's how I actually started doing them. Oh, this is my cut one that I didn't use a die for. That's the last one. Okay, now either one of the 3. Now I'm gonna use the one I cut without a die last, because that has one more petal. You can always cut one out, but I want it to have that fullness on the bottom, so that's actually a benefit for me. But you can, some of the tutorials, if you watch the roses being made, they'll take and cut 3 of them out the first layer and 2 out the next one, and then one out the next layer, and then the last layer they use all the petals. And I don't know, I just like the way these look with all the petals in there, so I just cut it out the first two to give it room. And when I use like scrapbook paper, I'm just going to tack this little side down here that's sticking out. When I use regular scrapbook paper, not cardstock, but regular scrapbook paper, I've got one I made out of just regular scrapbook paper here. It's thinner and it shapes a little bit differently, but you can manipulate it a little bit better. This is one of the first ones I made, but I sprayed it with shimmer spray. Isn't that pretty, y'all? But okay, I didn't want this to be a 30-minute tutorial to make a flower, so I'm going to go ahead and do like I did last time. I'm going to put glue in the center, and I'm going to go about halfway up each petal all the way around with a glue, just one little line of glue straight up about halfway up. And then I'm going to stick my little burrito in there, and I'm going to fold every other flower, every other petal up. So go around and do every other petal, stick it up here, and then come back with the every other one and stick it in the middle coming around. And you know, this is the layer where I looked at it and went, for real? That looks terrible. And I was like, no way. See, because it's all woppy, it's wonky, but that's the way most of them look on this layer here. And you can play with it and, you know, flip it around, add a little more glue if you need to. Just do whatever you need to do. And the next layer here, we're going to do the same thing. Put it in the center and bring a line of glue halfway up every petal. This is the way I do it. Some people don't do it this way. Some people fold them up and then come back and glue it. But I found it easier to put the glue on and kind of manipulate it around a little bit. Now, I wouldn't use hot glue to do this because it does dry too fast and you wouldn't have time to play with your petals. I have seen some people use hot glue, but now when you set it down, try to stagger it where it's not going to be petal on petal. And then you're going to go around and do the same thing. Every other petal, bring it up. And you know, sometimes you have to kind of scoot the petal over to where it's not right against another one. And I just go around and see it's starting to look more and more like a rose already. Uh-oh, I pulled that one off. Whoops, I got that one too wet. That's okay though. It'll glue on. And this one you won't see where it come off anyway. I've done that before. I don't know my own strength sometimes. Strength. But I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of doctor that one up and put a band-aid on it. See, that's that layer. Now here's my layer that we cut without the dye, and I'm just gonna do the same exact thing. And see, I got this petal right here against that one. I don't like that, so that's what I was trying to do, pull this petal over, and I messed it up. So the glue isn't dry yet. I can go ahead and just stick that over, and then see there, and I kind of cup it in my hand to try to give it the flower look. See, it's starting to look like the other rose. So now I'm going to put some more glue here. I'm running out of glue. Not good. Y'all might hear my grandson in the background. He's playing Xbox right now while I make a video. Alright. It's getting harder with one hand. I should have laid this down, but that's okay. And again, I'm just one little line of glue up the center of each petal. And now I'm going to set my flower down, and again I'm going to try to stagger where the petals are from where they were. One of the things I do most is not get it exactly in the center, and I got one side the petals are coming up higher than the other side, so that's the hard part for me. But you work through it, and we're going to do it again. We're going to come around and we're going to do every other petal. Stick it in between the other ones. And then come back and say, I just kind of go around and work it and see where I want my petals and everything. Now see, now when it's completely dry, I got glue on my hand, sorry y'all. When it gets completely dry and it's not wet anymore, sometimes I come back with my tweezers. I use my tweezers a lot, but I'll come and I'll take, after it dries out a little bit, and I'll curl my petals the way I want them so it don't look like it's just sticking straight up, and I'll roll some sideways to where, you know, it looks like it's opening, and you just move it around the way you want to. And see, you don't really need a die to do it. You can cut it and cut as many petals as you want out, or I mean cut, you know, you can have 8 petals like I showed you, or fold it to different, not as many, and have less petals, just however you want to do it. You can make a rose with as little as 5 petals per layer. And you know, I've made roses with punches that had 5 layers, but my punch broke, so I can't do that anymore. That's why I went and got the die a long time ago, because my punch had broke that I was using. But you know, after this dries good, I'll go and I'll shape the flower petals and just give it a little bit more life or realistic look. And that's how I get my flowers for my embellishment boxes. This is the big main flower that I'll use, and then the other one I'll use is this, and then I'll pick another third flower of some kind, and usually that's one I don't make, but I have made them before. I took some like tassel trim and made one time. But anyway, that's how I make my roses, and I just wanted to kind of pop in and show y'all that. I just wanted to come back and show you real quick that now that it's dried and I was able to shape it some and glimmer it up with some stickles, you can kind of see, I know it's dark, but I wanted you to see the stickles because I like to stickle them all up. There's the one we made on camera. Here's the purple one that I made beforehand, that I've stickled all up, and it's still kind of hard to see. I know y'all can see a little bit with the light dimmed. So I wanted to show y'all these. After they dry, I shape them with my tweezers like I showed y'all, and then I really stickle them up. So that's those, and I also wanted to go ahead and show you the paper stack. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Whoop, wrong way. Zoom back out and show you. This is a handmade stack by Die Cuts with a View that had different colored mulberry paper. It's just the rainbow colors, the green, blue, yellow, orange, red, and the purple is in the back. And this is the purple that I used because I didn't have a dark purple and I really wanted the dark purple, so I used it out of here. But the rest of it was the paper that I used from the eBay that I ordered. So you can't really see with the light on really bright, but with it cut down low, you can see my stickles. Gotta love the stickles. Anyway, thanks for watching. Y'all have a crafty day, and we'll see you real soon. Don't forget to check out the giveaways down below that I have linked, and with Wagman and MadeNew to create. And also don't forget about my giveaway I got going on this week, where I have over 65 yards of lace and trim, some of it vintage, that is included in this week's hop video. So y'all check that out too. I'll link all of them up here with the little eye in the top too, so you can click on the little eye and they should drop down. Y'all have a crafty day. Don't forget to hit the like button.